So I'm a wildlife filmmaker, and that means that my job is to go out all over the world and find wildlife to film. I have to identify stories that need to be captured on camera that perhaps haven't been told before. So that can be behavioural things, it can be conservation issues, it can be stories that scientists are discovering all the time, and it's about getting those stories and turning them into films and putting it out there. So day to day I'm at home quite a lot of the time speaking to scientists, reading, finding out about places that might interest me or animals that I'm particularly interested in, and just getting as much information as possible and then thinking about what stories I can tell with them. Then I'll be planning trips. So like this, we're in South Georgia now, and there's quite a lot of logistics involved in that. You've got to think about what kit you're going to be taking, you've got to think about actually physically how you're going to get there, what you're going to be wearing and eating and doing when you're there, and making sure you've got all the right equipment and getting it to that place. So all the logistical side takes quite a lot of planning. And then you get the fun bit, you get to travel, you get to go to places, and you get to spend so much time in the field. And as a filmmaker, it's a real privilege, because quite often you get to spend longer in one place and longer with one animal than you would if you were even a scientist, who quite often they're sort of fleeting visits here and there, and we'll get to spend months just trying to capture one specific behaviour, which is very, very, very exciting. And then after that, take everything back. And by that I mean our rushes. Rushes are the media that we capture on camera, the material that we've shot that then needs to be edited. We get home, I then hand it to an editor, and I'll sit with them, go through absolutely everything, and wham bam, you've got a film at the end. I decided that I wanted to be a wildlife filmmaker when I was 7 years old, which is quite ridiculous when you think about it. But I was quite a determined 7-year-old, and I decided that that was my path. So I started going to talks that other filmmakers were giving, and I started reading books that had been written by filmmakers and presenters, and basically I found out everything I could about the industry. I asked their advice, constantly asking people's advice. What should I do? What should I do? And they said, right, okay, you need to go to university, you need to get a degree, zoological background will really help you if you definitely want to go into wildlife filmmaking. And for me, there was absolutely no doubt, and that ticked so many boxes, because first of all, it meant that I got to find out more about a subject that I was really passionate about anyway. I got to do the science side, which is the bit that I really love. Came out of university. It's really hard to get a job when you've just got a degree. So I went to Imperial College and I did a master's in science communication, and that enabled me to learn more about filmmaking, learning about storytelling and narrative, and physically how to put shots together and how to use equipment. And then off the back of that, I got a placement at a place in London and became a researcher. Unfortunately, they couldn't guarantee that I would stay in wildlife filmmaking, although they offered me a permanent job. And I was so set, 7-year-old me, still there, still absolutely set that that was what I wanted to do. So I turned down their offer of a job and I moved back to Bristol. When I was in Bristol, I started temping just for Ofsted, because I needed a job, needed some money, and I wasn't just going to walk into the BBC, unfortunately. Luckily, I used my contacts to a wildlife film festival, and I got offered a job as a logging assistant working nights, but it was only very temporary, week by week contracts. So I kept working for Ofsted during the day, and then I'd walk up a big hill at the end of my working day and I'd work a full night as well. I'd go home, I'd get 4 hours sleep, and then I'd start again the next day. And you know what? I gave myself glandular fever, and I wouldn't change it for the world, because I proved to myself and I proved to the people that I now work with that that was what I really, really, really wanted to do. And off the back of that, of course, then I got more work, more offers, and I moved up, and now I'm a producer. So my one piece of advice for anyone wanting to be a wildlife filmmaker, I would say get out there. Everyone now has the opportunity to make a film using their mobile phone. And if you want to make a film, just take your phone, get out there, find the thing that's interesting and make your film, and then watch it back. And if it doesn't work, try again and keep trying until you get it right. And then you can put that up on YouTube. People will pick up on it and learn from it. I would say that's the biggest piece of advice, and you can start that at any age. Other things is network. Just talk to people, find out more about what the job involves, and ask people for their advice and for opportunities. Always say yes to everything.